Now, Sam, even though you're a Michigan fan, you're picking Ohio State to finally end their losing streak against the Wolverines and to win the Big Ten this season. And you got a lot of pushback for that from that take. You know, you got Michigan fans saying, here we go. People say this every single year, and we always end up winning. What is the reasoning for why Ohio State has yet to get over the hump with Ryan Day? Is he the problem? Is there an Ohio State Ryan Day problem? Or is it just the fact that, it takes some time to get to that point?
Well, fact number one is that Jim Tressel and Urban Meyer never had to face the Michigan, I'm not going to say dynasty because I think that's intellectually dishonest, but what would equate to like a miniature Big Ten level dynasty, not a national level dynasty. The average team for Michigan in 2021, 2022, and 2023 was an elite team. That's three elite, near elite, because 2021 Michigan was not the same caliber as the other teams in a row. Urban and Jim, Tressel and Meyer, they never had to face those type of teams. They didn't. And 2022 Michigan and 2023 Michigan, whether it's S&P Plus, whether it's points per play, whether it's um, expected points added. Sorry about that. All those things, like the really deep statistics, those were like all time teams in terms of dominance. So that's number one. Is Ryan Day's faced some really good Michigan teams. Number two is Ryan Day is, I think, doing a lot of what Kirby did at Georgia before he won it all. He's growing, he's adapting, he's finding out what he wants in the program. This includes him relegating himself to a CEO role this year and giving Chip Kelly command of the offense, which should result in the offense improving from last year. And number three is the fact that this kind of ties in with number two, but it's more so centered around an identity thing with Ohio State. It's their strength and conditioning, it's their trench play. It's the fact that even toward the end of the Urban Meyer era in 17 and 18, you could even say in 2016, they only returned a third of their production from the prior year. But for an Ohio State offense, it was a pretty bad offense. The latter part of the Urban Meyer era saw teams that would get manhandled out of nowhere by Iowa in 17, Purdue in 18, or they got shut out by Clemson in the playoffs, etc. The Urban Meyer era at Ohio State wasn't perfect. And I think the one constant that I could see in them at times looking physically drained or just not with it in terms of being the best that they can be or maximizing their talent at the end of the Urban era and in the Day era is the strength coach, Mickey Marotti. He's the one constant. And I think Ohio State right now lacks elite strength and conditioning. I think that Michigan, I think that Penn State, I think that certainly Iowa, who's done a phenomenal job at developing with the poor recruiting they have, and of course, Alabama, Georgia, and some other SEC schools have done a better job developing what they have than Ohio State has. Not from a Ryan Day standpoint or coordinator or assistant coaches, but in the weight room. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but I don't think I am.